I caved in my attempt to buy less makeup because Hermes came out with their eyeshadows and I ended up buying two. Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back. Today I am going to do two eye looks and try on the new Hermes eyeshadow palettes which just released in Singapore last week. I got two colors, the color 03 Ombre Fauve, which is the more orangey tone, which I'll share close up later, and I also picked up 05 Ombre Fumez. Apologies, I know I'm butchering that, but the other color is the more grey tone eyeshadow. Hermes is continuing to expand their beauty line and now it's into the eye makeup. So they have eyeshadows, they have mascara, they also have an eyelash curler, and they have brushes. So I only picked up two things because firstly, I don't need a lot of things and I just wanted to really try these out. Let's start off with the eyeshadows. They came up with 6 eyeshadow palettes and I'm reading off their websites. It says here, 6 color palettes offer various avenues of expressions for the eyes, creating a natural, intense, or sophisticated look. Each quartet, so there are 4 colors, composed of a graduated trio of powders, complementing a 4th bold and unexpected shade. So I think the bold and unexpected shade is this one right here, because on the orange, it is the pinky peach color right here. So this is the bold and unexpected shade. They can be used individually or combined to create a subtle, seamless blend of shadows. So their palettes are obviously designed by the same designer, Pierre Hardy, and it's kind of like interesting. I know it was a little polarizing because a lot of people were like wondering, this kind of looks messy. You've got squares, you've got circles, but when I first saw this, I thought it was nice because, you know, we're also used to seeing 4 squares, 4 circles, or something different. I think when Prada came up with their triangle, it was interesting as well, and it's not a new shape. It's just that maybe because Hermes is doing it and they're creating this different 2 shapes in a palette, people's like wondering, how do you put your brush in it? It's gonna look weird. It doesn't bother me when I'm looking at it. It actually looks very pleasing to the eyes, and I like the fact that they play around with the shapes. So the way I'm going to do this try on today is I'm going to start off with the darker shade first, which is the 05 Ombre Fumez, and this is what it says on the website. Stormy shades tinged with a cool light, a dark presence with celestial accents. So I think that is what it means by like kind of like darker shades, and then it's accented, how do you say it? I can't pronounce today. accented by like sort of like celestial colors, because even the darker shades right here, so this is the pop shade or at least the bold shade, it has like silvery sparkles, and this beautiful silver color at the top row on the right side is, wow, it's stunning. So I am going to swatch these colors and I'll put a picture right here. It's beautiful. I love this cool tone shade. And it was the first color that when I saw all the 6 shades, I needed to get it. So, okay, I forgot to almost mention this. So it comes with a little brush, which is quite interesting because previously it didn't come with brushes, and this time it came with a pouch. So when Hermes launched their blushes, everybody was like, oh my gosh, so expensive, it doesn't come in a pouch, it doesn't come with a brush, nothing. So this time when they relaunched it with the same shape or same size palette, you get a brush and you also get a little baggie. And what's fun about this brush is that there is a little side, almost like a pocket that you can put the brush in. I will do a close-up of the brush. Now, because I bought 2, I can tell you that one of my brushes is a little dinged out. So along the lacquered part, I believe either it was almost dry or maybe it got pressed against something. There is like a line, a couple of lines that, you know, to some would say it's damaged. To me, it just looks slightly dented. And if you are thinking about getting this palette, do check the brush as well. Just take a look at the lacquered section and like pay attention to it. I actually saw this in store, but because I don't really use their brushes, I use my own brushes right here. I just wanted to get one kind of like dinged out version so that when I talk about it on this channel, I can tell all of you to look out for it. For the first try on, I'm going to use their brush only, and then for the second one, I'll use my own brushes and see if the application is different. This brush is firm, It's not the kind of brush that I would use to blend, but it's very nice and soft to the touch. I think it's synthetic hair. I don't think it's natural, so which is okay as well. So now I'm gonna start off with the lightest shade here. It doesn't have names, does it? No, it doesn't have names. So the top row on the left side. So this very cool tone taupey color. I'm gonna take a little bit on the brush and I'm gonna put it all over my eye. Now the thing about eyeshadows is that when you go in store and you use your finger and you swatch it in your hands, it's not the same as applying it with a brush and putting on your eyes, because your eyes have, you know, it could be, depending, maybe you have oilier eyelids or you have dry eyelids. It does make a difference compared to the skin on top of your hand. So the pigmentation may turn out differently, so it's always good to, if you can in store, try it on your eyes, because it's a very different application and a different result if you just try it on your hands. When I tried it in store, honestly, I was not impressed, because when I swatched it on my hand, it just looked very dry and not so great. So I wasn't absolutely blown away by it. Then I took a picture of my hand, and maybe the lighting in the store wasn't the best, but after I came home and I looked at the picture again, when I looked at my hand, I was like, oh, the swatch colors are actually not bad. Not bad for an everyday user. If you're a professional makeup artist, you'll probably say, oh my god, not pigmented and all that. I don't really want my eyeshadows to be too pigmented. It's really, really hard to control. But when it's just, you know, just enough for the everyday use, I actually like that. And honestly, it's turning out to be quite pigmented. So I'm blending this shade with this brush, which is so dinky small, all over my eyelid. I'm gonna do one eye at a time first, so that you can see what it looks like. You know, that's actually beautiful. I love cool tone eyeshadows, so that's just one swipe over. And the brush is picking up the eyeshadows beautifully. There is a little bit of fallout. These are powder eyeshadows. They're not any kind of funky formula like Natasha Denona, so I'm not expecting it to be that type, and I actually like just ordinary powder eyeshadows. Alright, I'm going down to the interesting. What should I go? Okay, you know what? I'm going down to the pop shade, or at least the bold shade, which is, when I look at it, it just looks like it has silver and blue and a little bit of like, I think like a little bit of pink shimmers. It's beautiful on this taupey greenish color, which, oh my god, is stunning. So I know this brush is gonna pick it up spectacularly. So I've got that, and I'm gonna put that, oh, I don't know where to put it. I'm gonna put it at the corner. Wow, that is gorgeous. This would make such a beautiful smoky eyeshadow shade. In fact, you could just use these two colors on its own and you'll be good. Okay, if I was just like in a rush and I just had this brush, it's not the best for blending. It's a little messy, so that shade is very pigmented. I would say go in a little bit. I went in a little heavy-handed, so I'm gonna take a bit off the brush and then use it to blend over that earlier shade, and it's blending beautifully. I feel like I'm using, like, it's not gonna give me the best blend just on this brush. If I was using my own brush, it would turn out to be much better. So you know what I'll do? I'll just put this eye first with all the colors. Then I'm gonna do this other eye off camera with my, you know, my regular brushes, and then I can see the difference and I'll give you that comparison. But for, if you're just getting one brush on its own, it's a little tricky. Okay, now I'm gonna just clean up that brush. I'm gonna go in with the shade here, which is the darker shade. It looks black, but it looks almost like charcoal black. Not black per se. Almost looks like it has a bit of blue to it, bluish gray. It's very pretty. I'm gonna go in with a little bit just at the corner here, and I'm gonna blend that out a little bit. It's blending beautifully. I don't see it being patchy, and it meshes very well with the other shade. And for this dark color, I actually appreciate this brush because when I use really dark colors and I can control where I want to place it, that's when small brushes like this is perfect. But if I wanted to use like the first shade and put it all over my eyelid, it is a little slow and I can't get a full really nice blend. But for dark shades, look at that, it's blending out perfectly. So I would totally keep this brush for this palette just for that dark shade. And then maybe for this green, like the pop color, I keep calling it pop color, but the bold color, the surprise color, I might have to work on my technique and not use so much. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. Okay, that's really pretty. Alright, so now for the last shade, which is the silver color, I'm not going to use the brush. I'm going to use my ring finger. I'm going to take a little bit. This feels different. Oh, ooh, that's stunning. And I'm going to pop that in the center of my eyelid. That's super pretty. Okay, so now I'm gonna go off camera and I'm gonna, or at least maybe I'll do my eye with this, but I'll speed it up and then you can see the difference, or at least I'll come a little closer and like you can see the difference. On my left side, which is your right side, I've used the brush that came with the eyeshadow and I can see the difference compared to my right side or what you're looking at your left side. The difference in application with the Hermes brush, it is a more pigmented application because this brush is stiff and it picks up a lot of the eyeshadow, so I do get a more richer, more intense look. Probably could control it a bit better once I get used to this brush, but because I was using on my right side my own brush, so I was using this flat shader brush and I blended it out with another sort of like the top here a little bit, and then I went in with the dark color of their brush. It's a softer application and I mean honestly I could go either way. I think if I controlled a little bit more with the brush, I could get the same look, but I find that I get a softer application with my own natural hair brushes. That doesn't mean that this is not a good brush, it just means you need to control it a little bit more because this powder ended up to be quite pigmented. It actually looks super good and it blends out beautifully on top of each other. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this off and then now I'm going to go in with the other shade. I'm going to try this because I have a regular baby wipe here. I'm going to see how easy it is to remove. Oh, not too bad. Other shade that I got is number 3 Ombre Fauves. Amber undertones that evoke the sensation of lustrous silk accentuated with a bright ephemeral orange. I mean, this English words are like so big. Okay, this bold orangey color. So let's go with my natural brushes so that I can give my proper review because honestly I don't think I'll be using their brushes very much. I'm gonna start off with the top row on the left, and this beige shade, different from the first color. This one has a bit more shimmer. The other one was just pure matte and it did not contain any glitters at all. To me, this would be more everyday. This number 3, you could just use one color and you can get a lot of use out of it. Appropriate for going out during the day, appropriate for work, and I would say non-offensive at all. So let's put that all over my eyelid. I can see a little bit of the glitter. Honestly, it kind of just gives my eyes a bit of a base. It almost blends in with my skin tone, but it is very buildable because I can see the more I put, it is building up. And the color, which is this very soft, natural, almost skin tone color, is just giving my eyes a little bit of dimension. I don't know if it's showing up on camera at all, but when I look at my eyes, I can just see that it's there. It's really light. Okay, because it's so light, I think I'm gonna go straight into the darker shade, which is brown, but it has a bit of, almost a bit of red to it. So I'm gonna go in with that. I'm gonna be a bit more brave, but let's start light because I don't want to put too much, you know, heavy-handed and then you can't take it off. Okay, so yeah, go in a little bit and then it starts to build. It's showing up on camera. It's a very, very natural shade. So I'm going to stick with the same brush and now I'm going to go in with that poppy orange shade and I'm going to blend, I think, into the middle, like on top of that first color, and then kind of blend it into the side as well where the darker shade is. Kind of put that on the top. Oh, the color is really coming out. Okay, okay, you gotta give it a chance, you know, this eyeshadow shade. At first when I was blending the first color and then adding the darker color, I was like, not impressed. But now that I'm added this orange, poppy, ephemeral, I'll put it here so that you can read it for me, ephemeral. Okay, this color, now that I'm putting it on top, I can see the vision. I can see the vision of this palette now. It actually looks really pretty. Against my skin tone, which I am, I don't know, I'm Asian with a bit of yellow on my skin. Not yellow, quite a bit of yellow. I do have pink in my skin tone, but mostly orange. It doesn't make me look more orange. It doesn't pull that yellowness on my skin. But I can see it. It's a very soft orange. It's not, I'm wondering if I can build it up. Okay, I'm trying to build it up now. Ooh, I see the vision. Okay, so I'm gonna go back in now with the first color, which is the dark color, and I'm gonna add some back onto the side. If you don't like shimmer, put a little bit of eyeliner and you're good to go. You know, put some mascara on because it looks really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with that. Whew, that shimmer shade is, yeah, that's pretty. So I think it's just it's gonna just put everything together. Oh my gosh, that's pretty. Yes, that is super, super pretty. It screams Hermes with the orange underneath that shimmer with the brown. Oh my gosh, this is pretty. So now just to compare the two of them, so the number 3 orange and then the number 5, which is darker color Fumes. The 03 needed a little bit more work to get the color out. But now that I have, you know, blended and put a bit more, it really stands out. I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but it looks really pretty. The 05 was very pigmented from the get-go. So if you are not comfortable with darker colors, this would be your bet because it's so buildable. I just went in a little bit by little bit and I was trying to put more, but it wouldn't allow me. In fact, it needed me to layer. Then I got this color and this is just easy. Every day, if you buy this, you probably can get a lot more use out of it than the gray. This one, you would probably use the 2 sides more unless you always go out for glamorous nights. But the 2 colors that would get used a lot would be the 2 on the left. The ones on the right, I think would not get as much use. Whereas for these 03, you get use of all the colors. So let me just finish up my eyeliner and put on some mascara. Let me just come back in a second. So this is the finished look with mostly Hermes makeup. There is no Hermes eyeliner yet or eyebrows, so that I guess Hermes will come out later on. I did not buy the mascara because firstly, mascara will expire really quickly and I don't go through them fast enough to justify the purchase. Not that I go through the powders very fast, but these last longer than things that are liquid. Between the 2 that I got, which is 03 and then 05, I would recommend 03 for everyday use. And I actually really like the way this eyeshadow turned out. I think just like the blush, which I'm using Rose Apricot, one thing about their powders is they're very, very long lasting. So I think on the eyes, I do suspect it will last very long. I will put a pinned comment down below because I am going out in about an hour and I'll be out the whole night, so let's see how it lasts at the end of tonight. I'll put a pinned comment down there. But yeah, I am very, very happy with these. Would I get more? Haha, the answer is probably no. It's very expensive. I paid $183 for one palette, and it was just a lot. They do make this in refills, and the refills was 90 something, 95, 90, I remember 96, which is, I guess, better, but at $96 I can buy another palette from another brand. So I don't know, unless they come up with more interesting colors in the future. This is their first launch anyway, just like the blushes. They had more launches and then the colors became better and better, and the different textures, and also I guess I'll just hold up to buying more. I don't need to get the very 6 that they have today. The 2 that I've got I think are more everyday colors already, or at least something that I can use and incorporate with my other eyeshadows. But I do like them, and if you're a big fan of Hermes, go ahead, go and grab one. You would definitely enjoy at least the color that suits your everyday life. If you enjoyed today's video, I do hope you'll give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell as well. Otherwise, everyone, please take care, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!